And hello, welcome to the DM podcast where we'll be getting hot and bothered, sunning on the beach with our very own beach episode. Joining me today, he who made the flattening appointment and he who likes the width and girth. Welcome to the show, Lucas and behold Max. Yes, I did.
For the both of us.
Yes.
That is
decide which one of you is which. So
that is the most inside joke that you've ever done at the beginning of one of these episodes.
it's the first thing that came to my mind because you just said it.
I don't know if that's necessarily the first thing that should come to your mind when you think about it.
It's because you just said it.
Nah, I don't remember saying it, I think.
Well, there were a lot of things that were said. We started 50 minutes...
like the piss cauldron.
We started 50 minutes ago,
the piss
but...
cauldron.
Tell them about the piss cauldron. I don't know.
It's the new cauldron in Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. If you put any liquid in it, it can become a stew after you do something. Meaning that if it's piss, blood, or whatever the fuck you put in there, it turns into a nice stew. Which means if you put this in a small town, it's a rather big cauldron. If everybody pisses in it, at the end of the day, everybody has their food.
Yeah, recycling.
Exactly.
Just...
Magical recycling.
I mean, does it say that the stew tastes good? Is it like...
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it says it's like a nice stew.
Alright, I mean, can't argue with that.
That doesn't make it better. I don't think
That would
makes
also
it better.
function as a public toilet.
Yes.
So how long does it take for it to turn into a stew? Because this is relevant.
I'm trying to find that, but they haven't put it up yet on 5e tools. I don't have the book.
Well,
Pain.
I mean, what else are we gonna talk about? I mean, piss stew. It
we
was on the
were-
list.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, there
is
you
no
go.
list.
Yeah.
This cauldron is made of thick copper and can be turned green with age. It is 4 feet wide and has a mouth of 3.5 feet in diameter. Weighs 50 pounds and can hold up to 30 gallons of liquid. Embossed by bulging
That's a lot.
sides are images of satyrs and nymphs in repose, holding ladles.
I mean, if those satyrs are a little,
The cauldron comes
They could
with a
help.
lid and has side handles. It sits on 5 little clawed feet that keep it from tipping. If water is poured into the cauldron and stirred for so now it's water. I heard there was any liquid. What the fuck is this bullshit? So my homebrew version is gonna have any liquid.
I don't know.
No,
That's
that has to
very-
be water. That's too
not
bad.
That's
That's
not bad.
very
It's
generous.
transformed in a hearty hot stew, which can provide one with nourishable meal for up to 4 people per gallon, meaning you can feed 120 people with this shit. And then, like, what
Okay.
adventuring party has 120 friends?
What adventuring party is carrying with them
Has
this
friends, you're
4
right.
feet wide, like...
What are
Big
friends?
You have a bag of
cauldron.
holding.
Th-
It doesn't fit.
Does
let
that
me just
fit in
take
the
my
bag of
s-
holding?
My stew.
Yes. Duh.
I
I
mean,
mean, you can pour the stew into your backpack, I guess, if you have this at your home base.
would
In
it,
your bag of holding.
would it
If you
work?
pour a liquid in your bag of holding and you take anything other than the liquid out of your bag of holding, is it wet?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
what I
like
was
it's
gonna
on
ask.
I'm
the
asking
space.
you.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
it's on
what
the
I was
same
gonna
space.
ask.
So if you say it's all in the same space, then yes, it's wet.
That means
Could you throw something burning into your bag of holding?
I'd feel like you can.
Like a torch or something?
Yeah.
Well, there's no oxygen,
After 10 minutes.
so it would burn for 10 minutes.
Yeah, so if you have the wizard spellbook in your bag of holding, and then someone needs a torch in there,
That's
10
fucked.
minutes is enough to burn a book, I think, or at least the majority of it.
Yeah, I feel like that could have consequences.
That
It
could have
depends.
consequences.
Anyway, what are we talking about today?
We were talking about stories. I was getting what I was going to say is we started 50 minutes later than planned because those guys were talking about.
Oh, don't give us
No.
that shit.
No, you
We-
could have streamed
okay.
all of that. That would have been
Yeah.
content.
I
That would have
don't
been
think
prime content.
I don't think I wanted to stream any of that.
Well, that's they're each to their own. I would have.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yep.
You don't know how to stream.
If I could,
Called out.
I would have.
Called out. No, but we were going to talk about stories from our DM games or just our games in general. We've been
It's
talking.
not necessarily horror stories, right? But
Not
maybe.
necessarily.
Could be, or I mean, those are the spiciest.
Those
usually.
are
They
the
don't have to
spicy
be,
ones.
but they will be.
They will
Yes.
be. You planning something?
No, I just experienced more.
A lot of pain.
Yeah.
Same.
I've only been D&Ding for 1.5 years at this point, and I've seen some shit.
Well, not as much shit as some of the stories I've just. I don't even know where to begin on that one. So why don't you use you have experienced some shit? What shit?
Let's see. Do I have a story that doesn't necessarily?
I mean,
Well, there's a couple of stories mainly that me and Max have experienced together.
experience.
Let's start with the tamest one, right? The T-Rex. I think that's the tamest one.
Yeah, these were first off sessions, like one
Yes.
shots.
First time the DM ever DM'd anything after only being a player. That's an important thing to mention, yes.
I mean, to give props, it started off pretty well. But it was a downward spiral when combat was involved.
Yes.
Something with a druid, an arch druid.
Well, just to say simply, we had to go somewhere. I don't exactly know why anymore. We had to go somewhere, and we had to go through a forest. And while we were going through the forest, we encountered something, and it attacked us.
Something.
I think it was like a rhino or some shit.
Well, this druid attacked us first, and
Yeah.
the idea was this was the initial idea of his in his head, which is something that never goes away, especially when we do it like this. He attacks us and is like, they're gonna reason with this guy.
Yeah, the moment
And
he
we
turns back into a druid, we weren't supposed to kill him, but we did. So if somehow this druid casts, I think, Wall of Force, which
That
I
was
don't
the
even think
scroll
is
we
on the.
had.
Ah, okay, so it was on a scroll. Okay, so he
Wait.
suddenly whips out a scroll of Wall of Force, and there's a Wall of Force that surrounds us now.
Did he roll?
I think he polymorphed someone into a T-Rex. Did he polymorph
No.
someone else, or?
So, all right. So there's some.
We
Which
do that.
session was this? The session I was going to be Rob Crimson.
Yes, you
Oh,
were
fuck.
going to be there,
That was
but you weren't.
No, I couldn't make it, but my character was there because he liked it so much. My
Yeah,
character
well, your character
was fucking
not
awful.
there anymore at that when it all went sour. We went to this forest. This forest had something going on with a green dragon, and we had to
A
go there and
library?
check it out. There was a green dragon somewhere. We never really got there at the end,
You did,
because
right?
yes,
You
he
get
said
each
for the
place.
sake of going on, he's like, can I at least get you there and then show what we had to do. I was like, all right, we've ruined your game enough. Let's move on.
Let's try it some way else.
But yeah, we went into this forest. We met this. Was it a rhinoceros? I don't think he was a
I don't know
rhinoceros
what
at
it
the
was.
time.
He was something. Like, he didn't attack us in his druid form. He was something else. It was a creature
Yeah,
of some
so
kind.
a beast attacked us. We attacked it back, as you do, Then he turned back into this druid,
You
and now we all, as a party, we had determined we're gonna kill this guy. Because he attacked us, it's only natural.
yeah, as for D&D
And
group.
Yeah. This was an archdruid, a little over our level, I think.
We were like
in
level
terms
4 or
of...
something?
No, we
3
were
or
level
4?
8. We were level 8.
8?
Yes.
Level
Oh,
8?
shit.
So we were pretty
That
strong.
was fucking terrible.
It was not the best level to start off as a beginner, I must say.
No.
So we killed the archdruid, and that was not supposed to happen. So he derailed his entire game, and this is where it started really noticing that we did that. He didn't know what to do. Our entire party was almost wiped, I remembered, because of that druid, and we had one scroll that we were supposed to open in a certain moment. But because everything was derailed and we were sitting there, we had the genius idea to open the scroll right there and then. Because why not? I was a T-Rex at this point as well.
I don't know why anymore.
Well,
None of us could do that.
Yes, I was a druid. I polymorphed myself as a T-Rex.
Oh, you were. Because you were level 8, yeah.
Yes. So I was a T-Rex.
With one intelligence.
Yes, everyone wiped. And
everyone
then
was unconscious, so you ate everybody. That's what happened. You were like, I'm so stupid. Can I eat my party members? And then he was like, sure. And everybody was eating.
He was really thinking about it. He was like, well, I'm just looking at him and just, looking at how things are going. This is a great ending. I ate the party. He sent some rhinoceroses randomly at me whilst this wall of force was around us. It was a...
That just sounds like a fucking dumpster fire. Yeah, I want to say, it sounds like a fucking dumpster fire. I wanted to be there.
Everyone was pretty, let's wrap it up. And he was still throwing rhinoceroses at me. Yeah. I was like, okay, well, this is not gonna work.
You kept eating it also. You kept eating them, I think.
Yeah, that didn't work. T-Rexes are pretty strong.
For that one?
Yeah, that was rhinoceroses. That's just a good example of the DM, having this pivotal NPC, and once that NPC dies, not being able to, due to a lack of experience, improv.
Yeah.
The rest of the game.
Yeah, it's a common problem. What's also a common problem is DMs that make the combat unwinnable, but don't skip ahead, or if they make an unwinnable encounter, they do it in the first place and they make the encounter take too long. Like I had in a game with you both weren't there. I had in a game with other dudes, 2 of which have never really played before, and 1 who was never DM'd before. So that was a dumpster fire.
I think I know which one you mean.
Yeah, I think.
I have no idea.
Luke was there as well. He was there as well. We basically I had to start the campaign because I had to start the session as the focus character, but he didn't really tell me what the city looked like or what I was doing there. I mean, before we started, I didn't even have any information on the city, so I just made a character and it was just like, yeah, you're looking for you don't have any money and you're looking for shelter. Well, okay, what time is it? Well, it's late. You've been walking all day. Okay, so where can I go? So I went somewhere, and basically what I had to do is sleep in the a garden somewhere or in a park, and then a good Samaritan would pick me up and get me to his house, which was all pretty sus. And I was just like, yeah, my character wouldn't do that, but I'll play along for now because it's his first session. Fine. We get to that house, go to sleep after some awkward bantering with the dude who is obviously evil. Who's the good Samaritan, who is obviously scuff. And we wake up in the middle of the night to assassins that have come to kill the guy. So we charge at assassins because you. But the assassins, they just kept taking hits after hits after hits after hits, and it was just like the one assassin was hit like 20 times. We were level 5 or something, or level 3, but that assassin took 20 hits from pretty high damage, and it was just like we weren't going down, they weren't going down. I was just, after a while, was just like, because he told me already he was going to make an unwinnable encounter, I was just like, get on with it, bro. Just do something. He forgot that they had poison, so they did a whole lot less damage. And it was just like, why not just have them just knock us out or something like that. Instead of just making us go through that combat for what felt like a couple of hours that we went through that combat. Afterwards, we were supposed to help the assassins because they were the good guys, because the dude we had no connection with was apparently evil, and we were all like, sure, I guess. So we had to go kill another noble dude, and yeah, that went a bit better because it wasn't unwinnable. We had to go into his house, kill the dude. We basically set the house on fire and then left. And that was the end of the session. It was just.
It's not wise as a DM to say like, "Hey, we're going to do this unwinnable encounter, and you're going to get captured," and then also play it, because when you play the unwinnable encounter, due to the randomness of D&D, there is a chance, however small that may be, due to the difference in power that you created in this encounter. There is a chance that your players might still win the encounter.
Oh no! With the one that was hit 20 times, we killed her 3 times over. He just didn't kill her. He just made her stay alive. It was just like, we hit her so many times. You've already said how bloody she looked. Kill her.
Mhm.
Just yeet her. I don't. Jesus.
Yeah,
Give us something.
No, you should at least accept the fact if it happens, have it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't. And also, if it's gonna take really long, that is daunting. Like, have it be quick and sweet, I guess.
Yeah. That's what
I really need to have it happen.
That's what I do with unwinnable encounters. I just don't make it an encounter in the first place. I've done one unwinnable encounter which went really well, which was after they had fought a ship captain. It was another campaign. They just fought the first mate of a ship which they stole. The ship they stole. And they were sailing away and got chased by pirates, or by their pirate friend. And the unwinnable encounter was just the pirate friend just shooting him up with cannons, which they couldn't really do anything. But it was maybe 2 rounds and then it was over. And everyone blacked out, woke up on the beach. I mean,
I've never done an unwinnable encounter. What I've done once was it was an introduction of a game where everybody was like sailors, and they were fighting a couple of, I think it was Sawagan, in on a ship that was that was like going through a storm, and the Sawagan killed all the people that worked on the boat, or at least the ones that were keeping it at bay.
Mhm.
So the players had to try and fight off these Sawagan, but right at near the end of the fight, the ship crashed and they were shipwrecked on the island. That's how it would have started.
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily an unwinnable encounter, just an outside factor for story reasons. Crashed the ship. They killed all the creatures and they won that fight, but the ship still crashed, which had nothing to do with the fight per se.
Yeah, that's the same. They won the fight against the person I wanted them in the fight against, or to actually be able to beat. And then they got yeeted by outside elements, which couldn't really do anything, like a storm and pirates and whatever. But making the encounter just take long because it's supposed to be unwinnable, or just because it's epic and they just take hits after hits, that sounds pretty familiar to me. I've not done that encounter, but you guys have.
You know what
I mean the hag encounter.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, it's true.
The hag encounter. Okay.
That's the thing. Well, that wasn't technically unbeatable. We did beat it. It was just, don't do that.
Super boring, because we arrived at this grove, and we eventually found out that the person mask that we thought for at first was a very nice young druid lady turned out to be a hag. So we started fighting, and she summoned X amount of snakes to help her. I'm not sure if she summoned them or they came out of the woods to help or whatever.
Something like that.
But in the end, we focused fire on the hag, thinking that if we kill the hag, then we'll deal with the snakes and it won't be so much of a problem. I think because of a single attack that happened to me in the beginning of the game, my rogue was constantly running away, then hiding again, then dashing and running, and I wasn't able to get him anywhere. So that I think that was like 4 or 5 rounds of combat for me where I was just running away from this one snake because I had 1 hit point or something. While the rest of you were we were 6 players, so 5 other players were beating this one hag senseless. One of us, I don't know who, but somebody was keeping track of
I was.
how much damage we did. Was that you? And
well,
we ended up doing...
how much damage I would do, like I was just tracking my own damage because I was like,
wait, that was only your own damage?
I did like 200 plus damage. And mind you, I'm like level 3 character. Damage.
No, I think we were level 4.
Something like that.
But we like
200 plus damage.
200.
I think in the end we did. I remind dealing a total of 511 damage total over everybody during the fight.
Yep.
Which means that
Jesus.
that is near equal to a Tarask. It's only like 100 hit points off. And it was eventually because every time she was able, she didn't use, it wasn't Night Hag. He used the Night Hag stand block. And the Night Hags can do a couple of things. They're not necessarily made to be very powerful combat creatures. But
really.
They have some ability. But instead of using some of the spells or something, or the incorporeal movement or the etherealness she had at her disposal, she just kept clawing. So her turns were boring as fuck as well. But the reason she had so many hit points is apparently, which the DM didn't notify us of, she was taking hit points from the X amount of snakes, I think 5 or 6 snakes that were there. She was taking their hit points and adding them to her own hit point pool. Meaning, because we all focused on the hag, the snakes had a lot of hit points that she could take from. But it would have been a very simple fix to that, just
really simple fix.
Showing us that somehow she is pulling the HP from the creatures, because we had no idea, and he didn't tell us. And he was like, "Why are they only attacking the hag?" It's like, that's what players do.
There was a few things that just didn't really add up to that fight. Is like, first of all, out healing the damage we did was, it was not like a troll regeneration ability. I don't know how it worked. Never bothered to ask, but it was heavy apparently.
Well, you did a lot of damage, but we also had a fucking treant on our side. Somebody could turn into a tree. And their attacks added to what he did, plus the barbarian we had, plus the 2 other characters we had, wasn't enough damage to compensate for what she could heal.
What?
Yep. They're apparently...
How?
She healed more than we did damage most of the fight. Or at least, it was just not enough damage to be significant each turn, even though we focused really hard. It's just the unclearness of the battle. Like, we didn't know, and then at the end he was like, "Yeah, why didn't you kill the snakes? They were healing her." I was like, "Okay, well, thanks for saying that now."
We didn't know that.
Even just saying you see a strange green energy coming from the snakes, and then pouring into her, seeing her wounds close a little bit.
That would have been enough.
We
didn't see that she healed at all. She just had a lot of hit points. We didn't see that some of her wounds closed. None of that stuff was said. So as far as we knew, she just had a fuck ton of hit points.
Yeah, but
but also the actions everybody in the end of the fight was taking was so boring. I think the combat took very long. I think it was more than 10 rounds, which is already bad. And in the last 2 or 3 rounds, everybody was standing in a circle around her, just beating her to death.
That combat took 5 hours, maybe even more.
We ended it early, and then he had to go through the prologue while we were all packing up our stuff.
Yeah, we were like, "All right, this has
been.
Don't do this. If you're gonna do anything again."
Well, he did in that same fight. He did a fight in the same game. He had a fight where we were fighting these. At first, there were twig blights, like these small plant creatures. Then they died, and at the moment 3 died, they assembled to one bigger one. And when a few of those bigger ones died, they assembled to an even bigger one. Like, that was a cool encounter. But then it got It got capped off by the fucking hag.
Yeah,
which was
just the hag just overshadows that entire game because it took ages.
Well, it was the bigger part of the game. That was the problem.
Yeah.
the few hours that we were there were spent on the fucking hag.
That just
Fucking
comes in
God.
general advice. Read the table. If things are not going very well, it's not always a shame to, if you look at the stat block and you're like, wow, it has 300 HP and every single player wants to like step
Leave.
off this table. Just remove 2 zeros.
Yeah.
Hey, it's dead.
Yeah.
If the fight's dragging on too long, or you're thinking like he has a little bit more hit points than I thought my party could handle, just bring it down a little bit. That's fine.
Same goes for damage, I
yeah.
feel.
The other way around, people talk about a lot. Like if your boss gets killed in a single round, it's not too bad all the time to add an extra bit of hit points.
The reverse goes.
The other, yeah,
Other
the
way
reverse
goes
counts as well. If the
Yeah.
AC never gets hit in the first 3 rounds of combat, maybe adjust that a little bit.
But
Why the AC
don't
doesn't get
tell
hit in
this
the
to
first
the
3 rounds of combat? Why is it a 30? why does he need 30 AC?
Bringing down AC during a game can be a little hard, I think.
yeah, that
if you
can be
do it at
awkward.
all.
I mean, if it's so high that no one can hit it, I can have a real easy fix. Just have an ancient magic fall off him, and then he can be hit.
Yeah, it would be.
Something
It would
like
have to be
that.
something like that. That would be the hardest to explain in game. Like having it suddenly have a little bit less hit points, or suddenly have a little bit more hit points.
Less damage
it's
also
not
works.
too difficult.
Yeah.
I've especially with spells. I've done it that Fireball just did a couple of d6 instead of 8 because my players
Eight's a
were
couple.
not high enough level, and I underestimated how many d6 that were. It was just
Mm.
like, oh no, that's good. Eat them all. Reduce the dice on that because otherwise they just die.
Those
someone
those
just
two
got
games.
Someone
Sorry.
got unconscious immediately after the first fireball. So it was good that I didn't do the full 8 dice of damage, because then they would have I would have just had 2 dead characters immediately. Because I did like 3d6 or so.
That's depending on your character's level, that can still be a lot.
It was a lot, but and I also rolled high. So considering, it's good that I reduced the damage a bit, because then the fight was at least a little exciting, instead of just well, we're dead, let's get on with it.
Mm-hmm.
Same goes for
Yeah, well, I was about to say, I played this one game once where my character got instantly from max hit points reduced to 0
Well-
by disintegration ray.
I mean, that's something I wanted to ask. If
Max
everyone
hit
is okay with
points
this,
I had.
if everyone's okay with this, from each other, right? We've
Yeah,
all
go for it.
like most of us have played games with each other, right?
Mhm.
Like,
I've never played a game where Rick DM'd.
but I did.
Yeah.
I did. So I was like, if everyone, right?
What's the worst thing we did to each other?
What's the worst like moment? And what would you say? Don't do that ever again.
So,
to continue on-
I think I know what the worst moment for me was.
To
I'm
continue on
pretty
with the
DMing
Zombie
for-
Beholder
DMing for-
mention,
No, and I mean,
Yeah, I agree on that one. That's
Which?
probably in my memory to
Sorry,
not
what?
do.
that fight we had a bit of a fight before. I think we killed a couple of gnolls, and we killed the gnolls and that had a display piece. That was the combat so far.
oh,
we
you're
took
talking
a
about
short
the
rest
zombie beholder.
afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
We took a short rest afterwards, where in which I regained all my hit points. I know. We after that were like, okay, on the big, because this was the first room of the dungeon we were resting in. With the door we came in through was this very heavy stone slab that took all of us to even lift high enough to possibly get under it. And even the moment we got it up a little bit, the gnolls on the other side decided to lift it. There was no other way this thing could have opened, and we didn't find any levers or something to open that door ourselves. So we were stuck in this dungeon. So we were stuck in the first room, and in the second room we knew there were creatures, including a zombie beholder. And
no, we
my
did-
character
the
was like,
zombie
"Okay,
ball-
guys, let's go."
The zombie
we
boulder,
all-
zombie boulder wasn't there yet. It was just
Oh, we
Knowles
didn't
at
know.
that point.
Okay.
Well,
Anyways,
in the beginning, it wasn't.
No.
I was like, "Come on, guys,
It
let's go!"
dropped
And
it.
we all, and I was like, "I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna charge into this, into the next room because we knew that at least there were fucked on the knolls." And my character was like the protection clerk. I was like, "I'll go first with my shield and everything." And we walked around the corner. Everybody rolled for initiative. Everybody was standing there in a row. And the first thing that says,
Oh,
or
in-
Max said was, "Hey, Lucas, make a dex save." And I rolled a dex save and I rolled like a 4. He was like, "That's not enough. You take this amount of, I think, force damage." Okay, that's okay. I'm unconscious. It's like, does it bring me to 0? Yes. Okay, and your character's just gone. There's 2 little feet left, and that's it. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So
Well,
the lesson to take away for them is check what damage a certain enemy can do, and reevaluate. Should you sometimes let your players get to places?
I had 29 hit points, I think, and I got brought to 0 in a single hit. And because it was a disintegration rate, I was just gone and dead.
Yeah.
Nothing was there.
I mean,
Yeah, that was a CR5 creature.
I mean, the encounter before that was there were about 20-ish gnolls in that room. We sneaked in
Yes.
and killed some of them, and then got into a scuffle. And after we killed about half of them, a zombie boulder dropped from the ceiling. Something like that happened.
The first time we did see it, I used my turn undead and it fucked off again.
Oh, yeah, that's
we did
right.
see it the first
That's
time.
right. And then we
Yeah, I
then
remember
we
that.
went back. Then we went back
Yeah,
inside the first room to rest. And
Yeah,
then it came back
that's how
with
that went.
ghosts, right? Ghosts or wraiths. And then we
No,
charged.
like a ghost came through because somebody was possessed.
Yeah,
The
someone
monk
was
got possessed and started fighting the rogue.
Yeah.
That was
So
a
the monk
problem.
started fighting the rogue. The
Well, this
cleric
was the moment
just
where
yeeted.
the cleric was already
Actually,
Yeah.
it was Eddie's monk who started fighting Eddie's monk that started fighting Luke's rogue.
Yeah.
And it was bad. Like that fight was going on whilst the rest was fighting the zombie beholder and gnolls.
No, the gnolls were already dead. They were the ghosts at that point, I think.
Just the ghosts.
Yeah, I think
They
so.
were
But it was-
at that point. They were like ghost gnolls and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
stuff was going really bad, and eventually it was somebody prayed to Bahamut, even though none of us were paladin of Bahamut or cleric or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Max was like, "Everyone in a spectral dragon lifts up the door. You guys came through the super heavy ass door," and everybody ran out. And
Yep.
collectively afterwards, it became clear like we fucked up so hard, and there were so many signs that we shouldn't have gone there. You should have just TPK'd us. You had all the right to TPK us.
Yeah, you should have.
Because now there was this Deus Ex Machina of like, Paladin, fucking Batman shows up for you. It's like,
Yeah, it's the moment where as DM,
I was dead. You
especially-
didn't save me with it, so I didn't care.
Yeah, no, I had the zombie beholder. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be fun. I mean, what's the chance he? I rolled only 4s,
CR5.
by the way, to make it things worse, to add on to injury. This zombie beholder has one beam that was way too dangerous, and it only did that constantly.
Yeah.
It just kept shooting that one beam at everyone.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
every time
well,
it happened, I was just sweating profusely. It's like, oh no.
One time he didn't, I think. One time he did
'Cause
another beam, I think.
Because I was sitting on my ass the entire fight. I in the end was running the zombie beholder, and I didn't roll that thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Never mind.
Yeah, no, that was yeah.
Maybe your biggest failure.
I'd say that was the most just all over the place
I mean,
shit show.
I mean, we shouldn't
Of
have
a
gone
session.
in there in the first place.
Well, no.
That we even got in the first place was a fucking miracle. Because
Well, because somebody can't
Well,
levitate. There were
yeah, I did.
7
At
people.
some point, the gnolls know that there's people in front of their base, and it's just like they do something about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know how to deal with that moment anymore. I made that dungeon with the idea that you guys be a little higher, would have done a little few more things, because before that, and this would be like for lore to get behind, like there was already a lot of mistakes made.
yeah, we were
was?
fucking up a whole lot. We were just a fuck up crew.
So
the
the upper
entire
hand
time.
was not exactly within.
Because
Yeah, it was just a shit show.
We-
It
we-
was not. Yeah.
yeah, we had a fight earlier. Was this before the Hydra or after the Hydra? It was before,
After.
right?
It was after.
Oh, after. So
After.
Yeah.
I fought the Hydra, and afterwards I came back to the same cave with you guys before I got disintegrated.
yeah, okay. So we already got one person that was yeeted because he got eaten by a Hydra.
In a single round.
In a single round, yeah. Because he didn't do didn't do
He
just
didn't disengage, and he got
disengage, yeah.
what 5 or 6 opportunity attacks
yeah,
on a level 3 character.
basically, and just got yeeted.
Yeah, that was probably the most anticlimactic. The way he died was everyone was just like, "You deserve that."
yeah,
Everybody
we
wanted
were
the
just
characters
saying
to
like,
die.
bruh.
Everyone was just laughing at it. It was like, okay.
It didn't make you feel as bad as a DM.
No, but
Yeah,
but
it's
that
like-
was, that wa-
Because everybody was like, "Yeah, let's go."
I mean,
it was like that. I was like, okay, yeah.
I mean,
sure.
it was less like we were preparing for the fight and just said, okay, you go get the Hydra when we're done. We weren't done. He already
We were
ran in.
setting
It was
traps
just
and
like,
stuff.
why did you ran it? We aren't done.
He didn't check for traps. Walked into a trap.
A trap that we ourselves set, by the way.
Why did
another
you guys-
another
Oh,
group,
no,
like we
right?
split up at one point. He wasn't with the group that set the trap, but the trap was set by a party member.
No, not that
no,
trap.
no.
No.
That trap
we
was
dug holes.
that trap was set by the Gnolls because you guys were
Oh, because you guys fucked up.
investigating, and with investigating you mean sending the wizard who has like 0 decks.
Two
Into
wizards, the 2 wizards with 0 decks, 0 plus in
Into
decks,
the-
and one other dude to investigate the thing. That was just a shit show. Yeah. Well, where
Turns out
We- we
that
s-
didn't go too well.
we saw the Hydra and I just skedaddled out of there as a wizard. I just cast what was it again? Longstrider? Something?
Nah, expedition retreat.
Oh yeah, expedition.
You're like,
Retreat on
"Fuck
myself.
this."
Just
And
I'm
then
out.
the Warforged wizard was only able to get out of there with, I think, he disguised himself in a very high deception
Yeah.
check.
Yeah.
He disguised himself into a Gnoll. That was a fun moment where he disguised himself into a Gnoll. There were 2 Gnolls. They were both like fighting each other, and this Hydra was just looking at both of them, and he was like, acting like the better Gnoll, and then the other Gnoll was the one who was eaten, and that gave him enough time to like
Run
run
away.
off. And that was like a natural 20 saved his ass right there, and the silence spell.
The silence spell worked.
Because that wasn't silenced, he wouldn't have been able to really, speak Gnoll.
So the silence spell and yeah, because I was helping him but I didn't have any strength, and I saw a Hydra get out of the bushes and I was just like, I'm a skedaddle.
I mean, at that point, there was a lot of information given for both them and you guys. You guys knew, okay, they have a Hydra. This is bad.
Which
It
is why
wasn't
we
that
started
bad.
preparing in the first place.
It wasn't that bad, but, going in there without notifying the rest of your party, and then, yeah, that was bad.
No, but we did notify them, right? We said we're going to check it out.
No, but when I don't know if he was a bard or a rogue, or
He was a
he
bard.
was a Tabaxi, I know that much.
Yeah, he was
Tabaxi
a
was a
bard.
bard.
Yeah, he was a bard.
Yeah. So he, without telling everyone,
like
went
that,
in there
yeah.
and then got himself into that trap, which was set because they knew there were people snooping around their area,
Yeah.
whilst you guys were laying traps.
Yes.
And it's just like, why don't...
But we're getting off track.
Yeah. I mean,
I think we're getting on the right track there.
we were getting on the right track. But
No. I mean, no, that's not how that works. You can't just shit talk me and then go.
But I've never played a game where Rick was the DM. Was there any moment like that where it was like a bit of a fuck up whenever you played in that game?
there were a couple
Well-
of fuck ups, I'd say. One I
I
can
remember one of the worst sessions was not necessarily because of you, it was because of the place where we were at.
Yeah.
That
Agreed.
was, I would very much argue that.
Like the place in
Holy-
game or the
No, out of
actual
game.
location? you're
The
playing
actual
in?
location.
That was just
There was
fucking terrible.
Family members
Terrible.
who were really
Oh.
childish about things. That
Yeah.
was like, yeah.
Yeah, we were we had what was it? Was it the session that you? Yeah, there was the session that you fought against the dragons or the wormlings.
Yeah, against the dragon.
The session itself was pretty cool because it was a session with there was the session where the drip. Where we had the drip joke.
Yeah, the drip
I've
moment.
heard that. I've heard that drip joke.
Yeah.
There's this loud rushing waterfall.
You
in
just
this
come
cave,
out
and
of the
you hear
waterfall and
dripping
you just hear the dripping
Yeah.
of the cave. It's just
Meanwhile,
like,
this waterfall next to me, but I hear the droplets. Yeah, you were describing it like you just, and I just, isn't there like this waterfall is going like
oh, is it? Oh yeah, fuck.
really loud?
You just went through a waterfall. No, the combat was fine and the session was fine. The problem was we were at a place. We were sitting outside at someone else's place because he would never come to sessions. He would only show up if we were where he was, which is fucking annoying. But
Yeah, not
we were
the
sitting
best
out.
player.
We were sitting outside and we were just doing our thing. And then there was 2 family members who continuously just kept asking questions and just not even just a bit jokey questions. It's like, oh, why is that apple a dragon? Because we didn't have dragon minis. I was just like, oh, why is that apple a dragon?
A
It's
fucking apple.
it's a fuck.
Nice.
Of course, we don't think it's a dragon. It's just a placeholder, bruh. And it just
It
kept
was
going
really
on like
annoying.
that. They started screaming at some point, and was just like,
They were
me.
really loud as well. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay.
and they were family members of the dude that was sitting at the table, and they were arguing with him, so he wasn't focused at all. So that was, yeah, that never again.
Yeah.
there. That was
I think that was like was that the last session of that, or with him at least?
with him. I think we did one more session with Hai. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
What I was going to suggest is the maze that was before you fought the dragons as a terrible
Yeah,
DM
there's
decision.
that is, well, the navigating through the forest part was really long-winded and not very adventurous or interactive.
Yeah, because how I read it, it was just like and that is I think according to lore that the green dragon just has a incomprehensible web of forests that the players get lost in. But what I found
You
out
got
then,
lost.
being lost is not fun. So we were going through this forest for a while with nothing much happening, and me repeating the same lines. And after a while, I was just like, "No, this isn't fun. I'll just get on with it, because otherwise." it's
Also, I think I was a ranger with the favorite terrain type of forest.
just, yeah.
So that
That's
also
dumb.
doesn't make a lot of sense that
Yeah,
that
no.
we were lost. So it was just a lot of things when you look back at it, especially like,
You played Rangers a lot. You played Rangers in that game. You played Rangers in the game with the hag. You played Ranger in the game. No, we're Druid in the game with the
Yeah.
T-Rex.
I only played ranger twice.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's twice too many times.
Nice, min-maxing.
Look, the second one was actually really good. Never. It's just, it is what it is.
it is what it is.
There's a reason he did a lot of damage.
Because he was broken.
It was broken as fuck.
It was a dual-wielding Ranger, which is one of the most viable versions of it.
I've never really.
In low level, at least.
But
But yeah, that's
I'd say that was the one where the family members were screaming at everyone. I think that was the worst. Yeah,
that's the worst session. But we're shit talking each other here. It's the last part that
I
sparked
agree
the
with
least
that.
joy, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that. And
Being lost?
Well, there was
Because-
no
there was nothing
there was
going
no
on.
means to end. There was just
It was just
moving
forced.
and then
Yeah,
hoping.
You
that
guys were
everybody
also
rolls.
lost when you were in the swamps in Unravel when you were right
But
after
there's
the fight with the...
encounters.
Yeah, there
And
was
there
the
wasn't
thing-
in the forest.
well, there were
Yeah.
certain things, but yeah,
Like-
I freeballed a whole lot, and
Mhm.
I had things planned, but they were happening later and earlier, and the middle part was just a bit empty. There were things that were going to happen, but
Why didn't you go to those things? Because if you don't have anything planned, then you naturally end
Well,
up at the
that's-
next thing you have planned,
yeah,
right?
well,
That's
I
the
don't know.
mistake.
I don't know why I didn't.
That's the part where there's a lot of things where you probably ponder back on now. Where you're like, why didn't I do that?
Yeah, no.
Well, not necessarily.
Right.
That's not necessarily like if you're lost and that's a boring part. There has to be something that you're doing that is boring. You weren't just you're lost. Like what were you doing in the
All
time
right.
that you were lost? Were
What
you
I
keep rolling like
remember-
survival checks and it didn't work or something? Or
Yes, what I remember
Yeah,
was
I'm not
mostly.
sure anymore. Actually,
What I remember is mostly survival checks, and I was already quite. I knew at that point it was a green dragon that we were dealing with because you literally told me as well. Because I made a good enough check for for it to
Yeah,
know
that's
to
true.
be a green dragon.
yeah.
And you were describing some things that were interesting, like the birds following us that were watching us through through the eyes and that sort of stuff.
yeah. The intent was that it was a sort of mysterious.
You were setting the
vibe.
stage.
Yeah, I wanted to make a
Right?
mysterious vibe, but that didn't really work out as well as I hoped. That's why I ended it when I did, because I was just like, yeah, I'm not even enjoying it. I can see that no one is. Let's just get on.
Yeah, it was just setting the stage for a little too long. I remember and then it was indeed, I think, a lot of survival checks to try and get through there, but rolls not helping. There were not a lot of encounters, and then
Yeah,
the only encounter we had was cutting through roots, which
yeah, basically.
yeah. So it was that. It wasn't the worst thing, but it was just very uneventful, which can be daunting at times. There was also not a lot of role playing at the time, which didn't
Yeah,
help
that's true.
either.
I hope that there was. I hope that. Sorry, I was
So
really.
yeah.
I had hoped that there was more role playing, but yeah, no, that just didn't really pan out. But yeah.
But
But
But yeah.
what's the worst? I mean, stream. Why? Like I played not only stream. I played in one other game of.
you played
It
in one
wasn't on
session. That was yeah. I've
And that
run
wasn't-
about 15 to 20 sessions that weren't streamed. Then I did
Well, I only won
3
one.
sessions of a version of Unravel that didn't work out, and then we now almost done 69 episodes of the current Unravel, and that's all the games I've run. That's all I've done. I've never done one shots. I've never done nothing else except for this. Like mainly Unravel.
Well,
Yeah, I mean-
I'd say probably the worst episode that I've been on is probably the second time we fought. How was that slaver killed called again? Moonlight
The
Wound.
Moonlight Wound.
Yeah. I think
With the Glabrizu.
yeah, with the Glabizu. I think that was the worst episode then, because that we already won the fight before that against them, and then we were punished again when we had to enter the ship, and they were already on it, just firing at us constantly. And it was just like, but we won already. Why can't we have the advantage for the second time? We weren't really prepared for that fight. The fight was a shit show. We almost all died until I changed into the Glabrizu and hit 2 natural 20s.
That's the
That was
weirdest Mill
just-
Harry I've ever pulled.
Yeah,
that's that's the me opening a door as bomb.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's kind of a thing to
kind of.
happen.
Yeah,
I mean, I did roll 2 natural 20s though.
that as well.
Yeah,
That
it was
was just
that was a luck of the draw at the end.
In that fight, I think in the last attack that the Glabrizu had, I also rolled 2 net ones.
yeah,
Which
he
is
did.
the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a very upward.
Those two encounters
battle.
were, the most. Because that was a mistake that I made using character sheets. In the first battle, I actually used player character sheets to fight against you, which was way too much info for me. In the second fight, I made them into stat blocks, which helped me a lot. The biggest problem for you guys was the fact that the Glabrizo had cast darkness the entire time, and the fact that whilst they were on the boat, they had cover.
Yeah, the cover and the darkness were the big problem, and also the druid.
The way to get on the ship was also very
it
was difficult terrain and was only like 5 feet
difficult
wide.
terrain, 5 feet wide, dock.
At the end of the day, there was just not a lot of. The terrain was very utilized by the enemies, and we didn't have much terrain to go by.
There's I just see there's also a story in the chat. I just saw.
Ooh.
Best D&D story. We were in a city of dragon cavalry during the breeding season. The big bad had gained control of the dragons by threatening their eggs. We were backed into a corner by a half a dozen dragons, and the big bad holding the dragon egg. The mage used prestidigitation. Now you're probably thinking how a cantrip could help in this situation, so let me clarify. Prestidigitation, harmless sensory effect, the scent of dragon pheromones. Oh no! Oh no! I feel where this is going, and that's it's not going anywhere good.
The dragons suddenly got the hots for the BBG.
Oh no! Yeah, that's.
We're not going to seduce the dragons. We're not going to seduce the BBG. We're going to make them fuck each other.
I
mean,
mean,
an interesting
interesting
way
way to do it. Yeah.
I mean, being backed into a corner by half a dozen dragon, what level party can really take that on? What the hell?
Look on the DM's face was priceless. I figure. I make a dragon.
Very creative.
I'll do prestidigitation. Sure. Yeah. The harmless sensory effect, the smell of dragon pheromones.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like a problem.
That's how I would respond.
That's not necessarily that's not because we're all talking from the DM's perspective. That's not necessarily a problem from the DM. That's just a very smart play by the players.
Yeah. Did he actually? I mean, obviously he would have allowed that. Otherwise, that wouldn't be.
That would be no story.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
So yeah.
Just.
That's also the max amount of shit talk that we can do on each other.
Well, I mean,
well,
we could probably.
I don't think so. I think we can do more shit talking.
How about the archmage that we had to fight at level 1?
Wait,
yeah,
what?
I mean,
what?
I don't necessarily think that was a big problem.
I can.
That was just an unwinnable encounter.
I think I can defend myself on that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think you guys were very murder hobo-ish on that moment.
Well, we did say that we wanted to play a neutral to evil campaign.
I know.
Wait, which campaign is this?
This was the one that we played one session of so far.
Yeah, I'll not say like it's the best thing to throw a archmage at your face. I didn't necessarily throw him at you. I made him walk past you, hoping you would hide from him.
We were escaping and we were killing all the guards that we came across. And then suddenly it was like, okay, this Kenku comes walking up, and we're like, oh sure, we'll just beat this guy's ass as well. And suddenly we attack him. Okay, afterwards he casts time stop. I was like, what? We're level 1.
Honestly,
yeah. I mean, in hindsight, I could have just made him cast a high level, like a 7th level arcane missile, and done the same thing.
You could have just cast a 3rd level sleep, and it would have worked.
I don't remember that being in this list.
you don't use a list, man. Just think of spells. No, but
you could do that.
I mean, they were being murder hobo-y. I was just I had disguised myself as what was it again?
You were just a Genku guard.
Kenku.
Not tall at all, because you were able to magically
Yeah, I magically changed myself to a Kenku guard while they were killing everyone in their sleep, and I was just like, I mean, we're doing an evil campaign. That doesn't mean that you kill everyone.
So.
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't mean that you kill everyone just without willy-nilly. That's not.
Well,
that's
that was
not
just
neutral.
to make sure that the guards wouldn't awake during all the rest of the escaping that we were planning on doing.
With the guards, that was completely fine that were sleeping there. I was like, this is not harmful at all.
We were.
I mean, it wasn't that problematic. Like, it was really easy. At that point, you guys had it in the bag. You could have, like, gotten some outfits. Like, you could have acted like you were a performance or something and just skedaddle out of there. Like, you could have done that. So, I was focusing on that part. Like, it was a really more sneaking, not combat encounter at all. Which is why I didn't, like, set up any combat-specific boards, because I wasn't expecting high combat. Because I was like, if you get caught, you're not going to fight this entire building.
No, that's what I thought.
That's why I did the Archmage just killing you, because otherwise you wouldn't have won this. Yeah,
we almost killed him, did we not?
You did very close to kill him, but even if you killed him, you wouldn't have gotten out of there because you. Well, if you killed him instantly, nobody would have noticed. So yeah, you maybe could have gotten away with it, but you didn't have sneak attack, right? So.
No, I did have sneak attack.
You start with sneak attack.
It just wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't enough. I wasn't also.
Because I had sneak attack, then it was his turn, and then it was Vera's turn.
Also, I wasn't there because I was in the Kenku guard, in a Kenku guard uniform with the Kenku guards, just sitting and chilling.
The fact that the party was that split up was kind of a problem in the whole escape plan.
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting you to actually attempt to kill that guy, because he was told to us that he was a really strong dude. And since we're level 1...
No, that was not clear.
It was implied.
My giveaway was the fact that you were in a mansion that was in a demi-plane.
Yeah, I didn't... Yeah. I thought we were just in a very big place. It wasn't clear to me that we were in a demi-plane.
I thought the moment you were looking out of the window and you just looked at everywhere, there was just... I didn't like sky. I was like, maybe that's a hint, but I guess I didn't
get that as being like you're in a demi-plane.
Yeah, no,
I got
it.
You told me that, I was like, oh fuck, of course, that's why the windows were that weird.
Yeah, no, I got it.
So yeah, I'll agree on the parts. Like, yeah, I should have maybe not done the 9th level spell to scare you too much. Then again, if he was just a mage, he would have done the same.
Probably.
Maybe you would have killed him.
You probably would have.
Though the health.
A mage had 40 has 40 hit points, like the
oh yeah, no, mage. Okay, you would have a standard mage. You would have killed right there and then, and that's like a CR6, and you guys were like level 2 or 1.
No, we were level 1. We started at level 1.
So just to give you an idea, these level 1 fuckers did more than 40 damage on my Archmage the moment it started. So I was already sitting there like, well, I mean, if they kill him, they kill him.
But that's because of the fact that because I was the only one that got an attack off.
Oh, Farrah got an attack off.
Because I got my normal attack with a short sword. Then I did my sneak attack damage. Then that was doubled because everything was a crit because I wasn't an assassin, so none of it crit. But I was a bugbear, so I got 2d6 extra, which is 3 times as much as a normal level 1 rogue has. I wasn't an assassin yet. I can't be, and it's level 3 stuff.
Yeah. That was the. Yeah, I don't see it as a problem. It was just you guys being all murder hobo-y.
Well, it was a little sudden, and I can see where oh man, I wanted to not be instantly killed. But it's the mindset I had was like, this is really a sneak mission, so your guys are gonna sneak and get out of there without maybe,
Well, it came over a lot of like being like, okay, we've started this trying to escape and making our way out, and then suddenly Archmage shows up. That made it look like it was even stupid to even attempt to escape. That was the first inclination.
Yeah, like
that was there.
At that point,
it's not like the escape attempt wasn't necessarily bad because we were killing all the guards. I don't think.
Well, no, the guards didn't really matter. It's just you targeted the guy who was like set up to be a little bit more of a big deal than the guards. Rick could have just walked out of there at that point. Like he was like, "Can I just walk out?" And yeah, you're not noticed. You were stealthy enough at that point. You could just walk out there and leave your party. You didn't, because that'd be a little bit of a.
Yeah, I was just like, I can just walk out, but that just defeats the point, I suppose, of being a party.
So,
but yeah.
I wasn't opposed to like you guys killing people. It was just I put in this enemy who's maybe a little too strong, and instead of hiding from him, which I hoped you'd do, you attacked him, which
I would have done if I understood that we were on the Demi plane and it was like if I knew that
I
this guy
tried
was
my
the,
best. I
was the stealth person. Yeah,
failed
no,
in
yeah.
doing that. I
I
guess.
mean,
It's like I didn't pick up on some of the things, which also changed that. Otherwise, I thought we could have. I thought this was just some other guard that instead of you just used magic. But no.
I read the room pretty. I was like, okay, you guys don't like this. This is very clear to me, so I really quickly wanted to just move on from that.
Yeah.
Like I noticed immediately when I did that, I was like, I thought it was obvious. I thought this was a high level wizard. This was not gonna be a fight. I thought that was obvious. I thought you were just being really ballsy there.
But it was also the.
I thought
it's
the
also
same.
the reason
actually.
why at the end of that session, even though my character has stuff to do in that city, that I was like, we're gonna get the fuck out of here.
I mean, yeah, I don't oppose to you guys getting out of the city. That's not something I was worried about.
Yeah, no,
I was
but
more
no, but
worried
the,
if you.
the fact that NPC is there is the reason that I decided like I don't want to stay here.
I'll be honest, I will be more worried if you immediately want to do the thing from your backstory.
Yeah.
From what it is. So I'm fine with how that turned out at the end. It's just, I'll admit it was a little too sudden and I could have maybe done a better job at explaining that was an archmage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could have easily hidden from me. Like, you guys were, I don't know what your stealth checks were, but they were insane.
Mine were insane. Plus,
for level 1 characters, they
plus-
were
Well,
like,
because yeah,
I
we
also rolled
we
a
had
natural
the
20 on
ranger and then me were making the mainly stealth checks.
Yeah, I also had a natural 20 on what was it like?
you were gaslight. You were lying to him.
Yeah, performance, that was it.
Yeah,
I
you
had
at the
natural 20 on
table. He pulled you aside because you were in the changing room as
Yeah.
a Kenku. He just pulled you aside and I thought, you made a good point. I thought at that point my reasoning was like, yes, you think you might be screwed now, but at the other ways, now your friends have an opening where they can move on. And instead they used it as an preparation to attack him, and I was just, yeah.
Well, we were
Yeah.
kind of like, we don't want to escape if one of the party is not with us.
Ye-
Same reason that he didn't walk out.
Yeah, but I was like,
I mean-
I'll be fine. But yeah. We've got some more updates from the chat story, dude.
boy.
I see.
Elixion. They were low level and had been goofing around. DM had gotten tired and was
That's what the
planning it as a
dragon
rocks
pheromone.
off, everybody falls, or everybody dies situation. Which obviously didn't work out for him because, well, dragon pheromones and shit. But he adds, worst story is what I'm planning next session. The DM's gonna hate me. Level 12, 4 Assassin, 5 Battlemaster, 3 Gloomstalker, Alert feat, and Sharpshooter feats. I'll be getting 6 attacks in turn 1, all of which are crits on a sneak attack. And I can be seen in the dark by creatures relying on dark vision. And even if I don't get surprise attack, I guarantee advantage on all rolls if I out initiative again. Again, alert feat. So that's attack dice, sneak attack dice, superiority dice, and advantage dice. I'll be rolling for like 5 minutes straight at the start of combat. It'll be a nightmare for everybody.
Man, who does min-maxing? Really, that is just something you shouldn't be doing.
Says the person with the hexblade fighter build.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The difference is
definitely
with your min-max build, your strat is viable for every round of combat. This mainly works on the first round of combat.
Yeah. I mean, it does kill a whole lot of creatures in one single go.
Well, to be fair,
imagine it's a good start.
having
Yeah.
someone that deals fuck tons of damage, especially in
Not bad.
such a way, is just going to result in your DM eventually upping everybody's hit point count.
Usually, still surprise them sometimes.
I mean,
Also, you have to reach level 12, which, I mean, we've been playing Unravel for over a year now, and you guys haven't reached that yet. And we've, for the main part, even been playing twice a week, so...
I mean, my character is not level 12, and I feel like he's performing quite well.
Yeah. No, but I mean, the point is, like, this is very good for a level 12 character, but you have to reach level 12 first. I've never played a campaign where I reached level 12.
I have.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that game.
Could we talk about the thing that happened last session, very last session that you ran, in which one of the player characters died? Mistakes from mainly...
Oh, yeah.
Well, both the DM and player's fault, to be fair. Players could have been put in a little bit more effort, I think. We should have. I should have.
I mean, the second...
What do you mean?
The second fight,
With...
I was...
Let's set the stage first, right? So
sure.
we were with a rogue, cleric, ranger, and blood hunter, all in this underground temple, I think. And we ended up fighting a Mezzoloth. We also had two gunslingers with us, NPCs.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening is the Mezzoloth cast darkness, or first cast cloud kill, which knocked the ranger or Rick's character out in, I think, the first round, just by the difference was like 1 hit point, and you would have survived. And
yeah, I did exactly enough damage.
Yeah,
I remember you saying that.
You went down afterwards. The cloud kill concentration, I think, was broken.
That fight. I thought about. I was thinking about the other. Oh, never mind. No. I was thinking about the Unravel session. No, never mind.
The cloud kill concentration was either broken, or the Mezzoloth decided himself to switch to darkness, having the unconscious PC right next to him, while everybody else made their way the fuck out of the first cloud kill and afterwards out of the darkness range. And none of us were really willing to step into the darkness to go search for someone who got knocked down in 1 round. And because we weren't able to see it, I couldn't heal with the healing word because I had to see the person. Everybody had disadvantage on all their attack rolls because that was the mistake on your part, Max, on the DM's part. That the creature, we weren't able to see the creature, but he could see us get a blindside. And that's the reason we were all rolling with disadvantage again at level 4. We are now against an AC of 18, which is very hard to hit at that level. Eventually the mistake was that the Mezzoloth only had 30 feet of blindside, so anybody who was standing out of the 30 feet would have just had straight rolls.
Yeah.
But because he was next to it and nobody was willing to run into the darkness, my character, not because he recently gave up his complete memory of the other characters, not knowing who you are at all. And I don't know why the other 2 player characters didn't decide to do it. Eventually, one of the NPCs we could have sent in there, but we didn't decide to do that, which and then ended up with the result of Rick's character being killed by the Mezzoloth, just jamming the trident into her once again.
Yeah. So the main mistake was I just completely forgot. Like, he has blindside, sure, but it's only like 30 feet, so it's not. Like from 30 feet, it's not like he can see through the darkness and then have his eyesight again. No, like, he's blinded when it comes to eyesight. Is that not how that would
work, though?
No, because blindside, I imagine blindside is based on smell, based on
right. Yeah. So it would be the same as if he would have closed his eyes.
Yeah, so he wouldn't be able to see through it. He just knows and is aware of 30 feet. Like, if it's Devil Sight, yeah. Like, Devil Sight gives you
You can see through the darkness.
Yes, that would help. That would change the scenario. But he doesn't have Devil Sight because he's not a devil. So he just had Blind Sight. So there was like 3 people who would have just been able to straight roll. And mind you, yes, level 4, but one of these people has like a plus 11.
Plus 11 with a sniper rifle. We had the rogue had echo daggers or something.
Soul daggers.
And we have a mage, and we had 2 more characters with guns. So I think you should have been able to do. But
I think also there was a lot of emotion in that moment because somebody was down and was dying. Because the guy with the sniper, he was hitting like every time, but still he felt like he was not useful, and because he had to roll disadvantage. But I remember him hitting every shot until he started doing sharpshooter.
Yeah,
Which,
he did.
against someone with an AC of 18 with disadvantage, sharpshooter is not a smart idea.
But yeah, I feel like it was also a problem because I couldn't really do anything because I was in the cloud kill when it got casted, and I stood in it when I got my turn, and it was just like, so I couldn't even walk out. If I had 1 life left, I could have walked out and it would have been all fine.
Yeah.
But
also doesn't help. Your shotgun clocked the moment you shot it.
for that's the second
For
time
the
I shot
second
it. The
time
second time it
instantly.
clocked. It was just
Like yeah.
that was a waste of money, to be honest.
That was not a.
In 1/4
Like
clogging
I was
chance
planning
is
on
pretty
doing like a
high.
healing word because I was staying at a distance, like I always do. But at first it was a cloud kill and we weren't able to see anything, so I decided to use an action to cast light on the rock and throw it in there so I could see the silhouette of the person and then be able to heal them. But the moment I had that set up and I was waiting for my next round, he cast darkness and I was like, oh fuck, well,
Yeah.
now
true.
I can't see them anymore. So that action was also wasted.
Yeah. The problem is I should have just gave the normal rolls. If I didn't roll darkness, he would have been completely wiped right there and then.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't have been like a fun encounter either. So I had to look the rules better.
Well, the thing
I
is
just
also we
forgot one
could have
part completely.
sent in one of the. We didn't want to go there in ourselves because we were all scared that we would be fucked in the same way that the PC was. But we could have easily sent in one of the NPCs.
Yeah.
Which could
The
have
worst
possibly
part
saved
is-
them. Probably would have.
The reason I didn't make him like attack any of you because I was like, he can't see you guys. But some reason I couldn't apply that logic when I was like making you guys roll with disadvantage.
Wait, that's the reason that he continued attacking the same character.
Yeah, because he couldn't see
That's-
any of you. So
Oh,
do you
wow.
know how like
Wow.
I had to when I figured this out, it was a shower thought as well. I was in the shower and I was thinking of the comment account. I was like,
I just
damn,
read-
that
yeah,
sucks.
yeah,
I
you
killed a
said
character again, you know? I keep doing this shit.
Oh shucks.
And then I just started thinking about it, like, what could I have changed? And I just thought, wait a second, I just played it wrong. So what I did is I offered you guys a choice. Because
Mhm.
first of all, do you guys want to replay this? Or, continue with the fact that, he died. But I give you inspiration die, I guess, because I fucked up.
I mean, I
Well,
was
that
just like,
from my perspective ended up being like I wasn't really affected by it, so it's up to you. Like
Yeah, at the end it was
as being the
Rick's
person that was
choice.
affected by it.
I mean, I was just like, yeah, it happened, and I liked the new character that I had, so I was like, fine.
I'd say if you as a DM make a mistake like that, own up to it, and then just give the choice, like sort of give the players a bit of rein into it, because don't just make the choice. Don't just say, we're gonna start over because because
I made
I
a
didn't
mistake
like
and I
it.
didn't like the fight. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what eventually ended up happening. Little behind the scenes sneak peek because I edited that differently with the Unravel encounters.
The first Aboleth encounter, right?
The first Aboleth encounter
Yeah.
can't be found on Unravel on YouTube. Go subscribe. Because I cut it out, and we
Plug.
started the next session by redoing that same fight, but with a few different NPC with different enemies.
Yeah,
Few.
because the first fight was that was just a dumpster. I remember.
Well, it ended up being a lot of. I misjudged the amount of damage you guys could do.
Well, it's also how strong spellcasters are on the enemy side, especially if we as a group have no counters against magic users. And there was like the two priests were there at the time.
The counters against those were damage to break their con saves, because their con saves was a straight D20 roll. And they had an AC of 13 and 90 hit points. Like, they weren't unkillable or anything, but because same thing with what happened with the hag, fire was focused on the big bad from that fight, which ended up leaving me with all these other NPCs that I also had thrown into the fight to just deal damage. And because there were so many, they had the ability to flank. And they were, apart from them doing damage, they were completely being ignored throughout the fight.
Well, whatever. Because it's thinking back of it, there was these two guys. There was a lot of ads. There was this pretty painful and very powerful lair or like wisdom save that had to be made, and if you fail it, you were just
I was out of
the game.
I was out of the combat for multiple rounds because of that. I remember that. I
Was
was
a
paralyzed
legendary
and
aboleth
scared,
was
something like that.
really
There were
plunging us down.
There were 2 Kuotoa archpriests, each with 90 hit points and 18 or 13 AC. There were 3 Kuotoa monitors, which are like monks that deal a lot of extra lightning damage. There was a single enslaved drow champion, and then the
Drow
aboleth
champion as well.
Oh yeah, with the armor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
very much
there were
outskilled.
every as a layer action, which happened a lot, was that the 1d6 Kuotoa minions with 1 hit point were brought into the fight, and they weren't really the problem.
Well, the problem was there was too many enemies, and we were the economy was like this for them.
Yeah.
That in addition with the Kuotoas were stunning us or paralyzing us. The saves failed for some people, so like Rick's character was completely out of the game.
That happens a lot. That happens
on
a
top
whole
of
lot.
that,
I don't know
on
why.
top of already the action economy like leaning like this, we just lost our actions. And yeah, I didn't know to focus at the time. Like I remember shooting at the drow first a lot.
The drow, I think, is the only one that ended. The drow, and I think one of the archpriests ended up dying in that fight before you guys started to pull back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you say you on the big guys, but I don't remember even shooting at the aboleth at the time because we didn't have it.
And the aboleth, I think, disappeared really quickly under the water.
He constantly disappeared, and eventually you saw how far south this was, and you just didn't let him come back for a time. Yeah. And even that wasn't enough anymore because it was already.
And then he came back, and after he came back for the last time when you ended the session, I was just like, we can't win this. I don't have anything left.
Mm-hmm. That's why I decided to redo that.
Yeah.
And I put the option, I think, up to you guys, being like, yo, I really want to redo this fight because I'm not happy with it. Because it didn't pan out the way at all that I intended, but it is the story that is happening. So it's up to you guys if you want to redo that fight. Because that fight had a lot of build-up going to it. We were all like, kind of like, that was an anticlimax to that bit of story.
Yeah.
So I was like, I really want to redo it. And you guys were like, we don't really mind either way. And then eventually I was like, okay, we'll redo the fight. And we redid it. I removed all the monitors were gone. The monks that deal a lot of damage. And I think maybe I didn't do one of the archpriests. I think it might have just been one archpriest, an aboleth, the drow champion, and then 1d6 minions every round.
And that still was a difficult fight, but
that fight, though tough, I don't think anybody went down, except maybe Luke went down.
I mean, I know Max went down after looking for the aboleth.
Well, yeah, because he jumps into the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a different down. The battle wasn't that. The battle was tough, but it was doable. It was just a good fight at the end.
Yeah.
So I think that was a good decision to redo it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the option would have been that you guys left that bit of story and just turned around and walked out of it, which would have been, I think we'd spent 5 sessions on you guys just getting there. And then to have that end up with you guys turning around and walking away, I think would have been just too much of a shame of all the time that we put into it.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think that and the Moonlight Wound are my biggest DM mistakes that I've ever made. And I think since then I've been doing pretty okay, but I'm not sure. Maybe the Black Dragon fight with the Stone Golem.
Oh no, that
was a different argument. It was too rushed. It was like for the story of beats.
Yeah, okay, but that's because Cyrus was like, or Luke was like, "Yo, I want to quit," and I was like, "There's this bit of story that I kind of have to do because."
He also didn't help. Like the way he suddenly went from hey, I don't want to kill you guys to I was evil all along.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
no,
made
that
the bit of
does
story in general a little weird.
was
but that's
hard
because he
to
wanted
take
to quit and he
serious.
didn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that fight was a bit of a bitch as well, right?
It was fine.
The having to fight because Ventura kept going down at one point. The horn in the beginning was very powerful. Like you guys
it
ended
was.
up doing it, but I think that was one of the roughest fight that you guys eventually won.
I mean, the only thing about that fight was what was bad is I think the start, because I didn't really know what was going on with the horn and what
Mhm.
was happening. I think that was the worst part of it. After that, I didn't really mind. That was fine.
Yeah, everybody
thought-
had to walk through that horn area with disadvantage as like the wind from it was pushing you guys back.
But anyway, let's keep it there because we have a lot of more stories to tell, but that's more content for
Do we?
another day.
I think that was kind of it.
I
I
mean,
feel like that was the most spicy.
those ones
That was
were
1.5 hours
spicy.
of fucking that shit.
Well, 1 hour and 10 minutes because we started 20 minutes late because you guys were screwing around with that shit.
No. That was content. You could have seen
Yeah,
that.
you just didn't stream it.
And I think that should be the topic of next video. The cauldron of will.
Nope. That's
Yeah,
not
no, I'm
happen.
gonna do the the outro now. So, all right, thanks so much for watching today, and thanks for the chat interactions. Thank you guys for being here. Search our socials on social media. Listen to my music on Spotify. Just released a new single, so you can listen to that before my album gets released. The time on the right is still correct. We do streaming every Monday and Friday, streaming the Unravel game, and every Wednesday we stream the DM podcast. So you can join us whenever you feel like it. You can also look it back on the YouTubes, on the Unravel YouTube. It's down in the description. So yeah, if you liked it, follow and subscribe. Whatever you do on the internet, you know how the internet works. So yeah, we'll be back next Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. EDT with more. So take care, have a nice day, and remember to keep having fun. That sentence didn't work.